Hi, my name is Alvin and welcome to this special interview that I have with Manie, all the way from London, and a rising superstar who have been doing online business for quite some time. He used to be selling on eBay, but right now he's selling on Shopify, making a six-figure income online. If you're looking for ways to actually make money online and sell from e-commerce, you definitely want to hear from Manie because he has great tips and advice for you. So let's welcome Manie into the call. Hi, Manie.
Hi, Alvin. Thanks for inviting me on this call, dude.
Hey, I'm so blessed to have you in this interview. Maybe can you share with the audience, right, a little bit of how you started selling on Shopify and what's your journey like?
Okay, so basically how I started selling on Shopify was I actually initially started on Teespring.
Oh.
So, and teespring.com, that's a that's a site where you can sell apparel mainly, t-shirts, hoodies, but then now they've branched out to mugs and phone cases and all of this other stuff that they've added. But initially I started on there first, and that's where I got my feet wet with cold traffic, Facebook traffic, and converting that into sales.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, due to a lot of the restrictions, such as, for example, you could not take the email list, so the buyers that you would acquire, you couldn't take them outside of the platform. They wouldn't allow you. It's a bit like Amazon. They're very strict.
Yep.
So, I was always like, well, I can't really build a brand on there because it's not my customer list. It's not my business. It's Teespring's business.
Yes.
So eventually, once the idea, like someone else introduced me to Shopify, I was just like, oh wow, actually you can build your own brand here. The database you build becomes yours, so those become your customers. And that's how I made the transition from Teespring to Shopify.
Okay. So you are still currently selling apparels as well?
Not really at the moment. Right now I'm kind of selling pretty much anything I can turn a profit into.
All right, sounds cool. So how long do you took to get your first breakthrough when you set up your Shopify? Like, how much do you spend, and how long it took you to get your first breakthrough?
Okay, so basically, it took me like a few months. I'd say like probably 4 months before I had my first breakthrough.
Wow.
Reason being is because I was very slow. I wasn't moving quick to really hit things off. I was doing things very slowly.
Okay.
So I had to, by the time I did hit, like when I was doing the right things, which was pretty much doing the research, finding the products and launching, that sequence of doing that in a consistent fashion, that's when I started hitting, finding like really profitable campaigns. But before then I was doing a bunch of things that was not actually going to make me money, and you tend to do that when you start online businesses because there's no rule, and sometimes, especially when you're a bit of a perfectionist, you spend a lot of your time wasting doing things that are not going to bring in 80% of the business. So it took me about 4 months before I had that whole engine really running successfully.
So your first breakthrough, just curious, how much do you make at that time?
The first breakthrough on Shopify, I made about $16,000.
Wow, that's great.
And it was about, I'd say about 20 days. It took about 20 days because obviously, you've got your cost of goods, you've got the advertising spend, you've got all the little fees you got to pay, PayPal fees. Shopify is 2.6% fee. And then once you take all of that out, the rest is all profit. So, I mean, when I had that first breakthrough, it was very shocking because I've never made that kind of money in that really short space of time. So I was really, really blown. I couldn't believe it. It took me a while to get over it, to be honest. And then once I got over it, then I started like really honing my skills and trying to replicate that, times 5.
Just curious, were you learning this on your own, or you bought courses like me? I bought many courses as well.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, I started trying to crack crack the code on my own.
Okay.
And then, after about 4 months of like hitting my head across the wall, I don't know why, but I think I've got the magic number is 4 months. Every time I get to 4 months, if I keep trying something, it doesn't work. Eventually, I'll change my strategy or change my tactic. But I'll stick with it for about 3 to 4 months, which is about 12 weeks.
Yep.
12 weeks, just over 12 weeks. So after 4 months, I realized, this is really hard. And if I continue doing this, I'm going to drive myself insane based on based on the idea that if you keep, why do you keep trying to do the same things and expecting the same, different results? So I was like, right, I need to find someone, because I've always been good at learning from other people. Like one thing I can always pride myself is, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's playing chess or something complicated. If someone is willing to teach me and I'm willing to focus in and learn, I will pick it up. It doesn't matter what it is. So in my head, I was just like, right, I need to go back to the basics. I need to find someone that's already doing this thing really successfully and learn from them. That's basically it. So I was on the hunt. I went on a hunt to search for a mentor. And once I found that mentor, that's when things changed, because I knew he was making money with Shopify. He's making a lot of money. He knew how to put the puzzle. He knew how to put the pieces to the puzzle together.
Yep.
So that's what I did. And once he taught me, again, even though when he taught me, I didn't take action immediately. It took me 3 to 4 months. Again, another 12 to 16 weeks.
That's normal.
Before I got into the groove of things. Yeah, I know. But I mean, I know there's like, when I look back, I'm like, I don't know why I'm so like stringent. I needed to be more flexible and just go with the flow, But for some reason, it's like I was just trying to cram as much as I was trying to get everything perfect. That's what it is. I have this problem sometimes when I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I was trying to get everything perfect, all the skills acquired, so I can put it all together. And that's why it took me that long. But eventually, once I got there, moving forward from there was a piece of cake.
I actually have been training people for more than 10 years, teaching to thousands of students, and hearing from you being able to withstand, trials for 4 months and above is not an easy task to do. So I'm very curious to know, what made you not give up throughout all these trials that you have?
That's a really good question. I'll tell you what made me not give up. The added fact that, I was working as a security guard in the UK, and I really, really hated my job. I really hated it because I had to work hours, and I was getting paid peanuts basically. After I got paid, I'd pay my bill, my house, my rent, pay my car insurance, pay all the necessary bills I'd have, and I'd be left with nothing. So I really hated that fact. So it was like I was in a vicious cycle. I couldn't escape. And in my mind, that was what really drove me, because I knew other people were making money online, right? Yeah. And sorry, Alvin, I've got these notifications popping up here. How do I switch them off? I'm not that good with Skype.
It's okay, I can't hear them anyway.
You can't hear them anyway. Okay,
no,
cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. So what drove me was the fact that I knew people were making money online, right, with this stuff. And the added fact that I really, really, I know hate is a strong word, but I really, really hated my job. I didn't like the fact that I was working really long hours. I didn't have any social time to myself. I was working 7 days a week, literally 7 days a week. And when I worked, I'd work unsociable hours. So I'd be coming home at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to sleep. And I'll be sleeping pretty much through the afternoon till like maybe 3, to get up. And then once I get up at 3, I've literally got like 6-7 hours before I got to go back to that job again. And that really, really drove me to the point of like unbreakable determination, because it's like as if it's like this. If you're in a jail, right, and you can see there's an opening in the ceiling, right, there isn't no rope. But if you dig small enough holes in the wall, eventually be able to climb your way to that ceiling and hook yourself and climb out.
Yep.
Right? Just imagine that scenario. You're in a jail cell and you know you can escape. You know, you can escape freely because no one is manning the jail. You can escape, but in order to escape, you got to find a way to get to the top of the ceiling, which is really high, without no rope. So that's the scenario that I was in. I knew I could escape. I just had to be determined enough to find a way to get out of there, basically. So that's what drove me every single day, because I was living in the cell. That's how I kept my focus. So when I try, if there's someone that's listening on this call that wants to find the drive, you have to find what it is that you really dislike. Whether you want to spend more time with your children because you're always at 9 to 5.
Yep.
Whether you want more free time, you want to choose when you want to go on holiday.
Yep.
Whatever it is that's really, really driving you deep down. I mean, I had a student that had, like, he lived in a different country to his mum, and he wanted to move back with his mum because he knew that she was getting really old and she was going to be ill. And she was ill, kind of, and he wanted to be there for her all the time.
Yep.
That was when he told me that, I knew that this guy was going to be driven to take the action to make this stuff work.
Yeah, right.
And that was really, really powerful. And I could see how I could compare that to the way I was feeling at the time, because it was really troubling me. Every single day I would think about it. I couldn't rest. I couldn't see myself doing anything else other than every day taking, even if it's small steps, just doing something that's going to help my business moving forward.
Oh, that's very good sharing, because a lot of people around will always presume, like, tomorrow we start the business, tomorrow suddenly we have a lot of sales. But unfortunately, they don't see the lots of failures that we went through. I mean, what you share, I remember, why I went into business, because as what you say, I had a strong desire for freedom. I think that's what you were trying to say just now. And we know that once we have this kind of lifestyle and business, we can do business online. We have the freedom to do lots of things and decide to pursue our passions or what we really enjoy to do. And I really thank you share very honestly, what drives you. And I believe a lot of people who are listening to this call must have this drive, because I'm very sure whatever business you do online, they will definitely face it. And there will be no one encouraging you except yourself.
Exactly. Oh man, tell me about it. And you know what? The worst thing about it, I've got my cousin on my left shoulder and my girlfriend at the time, right? My ex-girlfriend on my right shoulder. So my cousin is saying to me, "Oh, cousin, you've been doing this for so long now.
Yep.
Just take it. Like, I think it's time. You're getting very old now. It's time for you to look to the future. Just focus on getting, a real job. Don't stop doing this stuff." I've got my ex-girlfriend on my right shoulder saying, "You spend so much time on your computer. You don't spend no time with me.
Yep.
You're spending all this money on this software and stuff. Instead, you're supposed to be taking us to go on holiday, for us to go and enjoy ourselves."
Yep.
And it's hard for you to, like, explain to them what it is you're doing, what it is you're trying to achieve. And you have to literally block all of that stuff out.
Yes.
And stick to your guns, and don't listen to what anyone else is saying to you.
Yes.
You have to focus in. And just like you said, Alvin, when the failures come, there is no one. It's easier for you to be discouraged.
Yep.
It's so much easier for you to be discouraged and be like, you know what? I don't want to do this crap no more. I want to I want to just take it easy and stay at my job, which is nice and safe, where I know I'm going to get a paycheck at the end of the month, and just be content with that.
Yep.
It's so much easier to do it. It's harder for you to stick there every day and be driven to find solutions and answers to the objectives that try and get in your way from achieving the results that you want to achieve online.
Right. So I hope you guys who are listening get the message. Don't give up, and trying to find a strong desire for freedom or why you want to do business. But let's talk more about now. About the business. Were you using dropshipping from the very beginning? Were you using like AliExpress or something like that?
Yes. I mean, I started with again. I was coming from t-shirts in Teespring, right?
Yep.
So with Shopify, you can have applications that let you do the same thing. like T-Launch. So I started using T-Launch, doing the T-shirts, doing the phone cases, the mugs. Because the design you can push the design to different things. You know, some people might not want to wear that T-shirt. They like the saying, but they don't want to wear the T-shirt because they like high-end fashion. So wearing a T-shirt like that might be too much for not their style. But they're very happy to take the mug into work, because the mug, you know, you can you put it down and that's it. Or people will see it at work whilst you're drinking your coffee, and that's it. You know, you don't want people to see you while you're on the street or going somewhere where you socialize wearing the shirt, you know? So having the design, you can move it across different platforms, and T-Launch allowed me to bring that Teespring element into Shopify. So T-Launch is an app that you can add into your Shopify store, and once you sell any of the products through the connection of that app, they will automatically fulfill. So it's hands off. You don't need to speak to anyone. You don't need to go and negotiate price. Everything is already set. As soon as a sale comes in, all you do is pay the base cost, and then it sends the information to T-Launch. T-Launch then print the gear and ship it to the customer. Once they've shipped out from the warehouse, the system sends the information back to Shopify store, which triggers your notification emails that goes out to the customer. So sorry if I confused anyone, but I just wanted to just outline what is happening in the back office. Essentially, all you're doing is advertising and selling. You advertise, you sell, you take your profit, you give T-Launch their little share, and they make sure they fulfill the product for you. Job done. The same thing happens with AliExpress, but AliExpress is more hands-on. So, for example, if you're using something known as Orbello, then you can kind of have that sequence-free, hands-off setup where the system will, you know, purchase the product from AliExpress from the sellers, and then they fulfill, and then it will send the tracking back into your store. However, the more, you know, caveman, old school way, which I started with, was more I sell the product,
manually order.
I export the CSV file, which has all the details of the customer, and then I hand that to my supplier from AliExpress, and then he will fulfill, or she will fulfill, and then they will give me back the form with all the tracking numbers, and then I will manually upload the tracking numbers into my store. It's just a longer way of doing things, but it's still the same thing, still the same process.
Right, in case you listeners are listening, what he's trying to explain is what we call dropshipping. Basically, you sell products without any cost, and there's only cost when they have sales. And just explain to you basically the whole entire process, the apps that he used, and also on AliExpress as well. I think I remember when I first learned about this Shopify thing a few years ago. You know, I also struggle personally, but I just want to curious, how do you find, you know, products or niches that are profitable for yourself right now?
Okay. What I used to do before was spend a lot of time, you know, digging into AliExpress, looking at the featured pages, see what's featured, see what's trending. Because just remember, AliExpress is just like
Amazon.
It's like Amazon in a sense, but for sellers. Okay, so if people are buying a lot of a particular product, AliExpress will prioritize that on their homepage or their bestsellers page and let you know that, hey, listen, this is the hot stuff. This thing is hot right here. This is what you need to invest in. This is what you need to buy and stock up on, you know? So they will naturally bring these things forward for you to see them. It's only down to you to notice them. And I'd look on AliExpress, then I'd look on Amazon, see what's trending there, see what's in the best 10, 100 sellers. And that would be great. And then I'll kind of like, you know, have a look at the reviews, see if there's anything I can promote. If there's something I can promote and I can get a good price on. And when I say a good price, I'm always looking for a 1 to 4. So I buy.
What do you mean by 1 to 4?
So what I mean by 1 to 4 is I'll buy it for $5 and I'll sell it for $20 basically.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. So if I see something on Amazon selling really well, and I know I can get that on AliExpress, for, you know, at a really cheaper price, can I match the same price as Amazon or even sell for more? That's the real question here. Because you want a good margin so that you can afford to run the advertising. Because remember, the first cost is your advertising cost. Okay. So essentially, That's how I initially started. Now, I I don't really share this with most people, but I will share it with your fans.
Thank you.
What I do now is more of like a good analogy would be the hyena approach. Okay, so in the jungle you have the lions, right? And the lions are the king of the jungle. Okay, they're the top of the food chain because they're athletically stronger and they've got the tools to take down any prey. Okay, the hyenas, they can take down prey as well, but they generally don't focus on that. Their strategy is based on waiting for the lions to do the hard work and and make the kill on the prey, and then they come in behind and distract the lions and steal the carcass.
Okay.
Right. So that's the analogy that I like to use to break down how I do it. So all these successful campaigns about, people making millions, 7 figures, 6 figures, 5 figures, they're all doing it selling products on Facebook. Okay.
Yep.
If you can find the ads, you can basically catch that wave of advertising and join them in selling that product to that audience. Okay, because audiences are quite huge, and a lot of the time, there's a good chance that even though it's that seller is selling that product, you can still sell it to a different audience that he hasn't even reached or she hasn't reached yet.
Yep.
So you don't have to create the wave. You don't have to find that one special product that's going to sell 5,000 units. All you have to do is find the ads that other people are figured out and are selling on, and then you can then model and sell that product. You can sell it differently. For example, I've seen ads for a product where someone's selling it as a photo. Okay, they were doing really well. It had like 20,000 shares on it, so I knew they were getting a lot of traffic.
Yep.
And it was doing really well, right?
Yep.
But they weren't utilizing video, and video converts much better than photo because you visualize. It's a visual thing for the person that's clicking and buying.
Yep.
Okay, you can visually paint more than 1,000 ideas in their mind of themselves visualizing using that product, holding that product, or giving it away as a gift, or whatever. Okay, but video does a much better job. So I basically just looked at the sales page, modeled it, made some changes, made it, put it in my own words, found the different pictures, put my own pictures up, and then I found that product I found a video of that product, right? Yep. And I made changes and edits to that video, and I put that video out, and behold, I joined the wave. That campaign lasted for about 5 months.
Wow.
I made $86,000. Profit was about, I'd say $64,000.
Wow, that's nice.
Right. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. And that's the way I do it now, guys. Okay. So how do I figure out if an ad is doing successfully? I look for the magic number. The magic number is 3,000 shares. Okay. If you see an ad that has more than 3,000 shares, that advertiser has spent good marketing dollars promoting that campaign, that thread. Okay. Which means that they're making money. Yep. No one gets the 3,000 shares without making money on their ad. Guaranteed.
Yes.
Okay.
Agree.
Unless they're happy to just give away money to the Facebook fund, right? So that's the tactic. I find the ads and I model the campaign, and I try and find the audience as well to sell that product. That's the tactic.
It's very, very good sharing, because ironically, when I first started doing Shopify myself, and I struggle finding good products as well, and I think why would I want to reinvent the wheel when already people have done it already? So I started selling Christian crosses as one of my niches, and there were so many crosses on AliExpress, but I noticed one particular design for Shopify store was selling very, very well. They didn't have 3,000 shares, but they have like 200 shares that got me notice that this product seems to be moving very well. So I decided to run some ads, and that was the first time Within a week, I made like $3,000 of sales. Just from there, and what you share is really works. And what you're saying is that don't reinvent the wheel. Just follow what people are doing and then ride the wave. And there are many ways to angle the wave. Maybe you can target different groups that the guy had, or like what you say, change the ad format. Instead of photo, do a video. I know there's so many ways to do it, and I think this is a very powerful tip. I think not many people share about, because this is a very powerful tip, and you use this tip alone can easily help you make 4 to 6 figures. It's whether you want or how desperate you want it yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
exactly.
I remember when I first also learned, a lot of courses online was talking about this strategy of free plus shipping. I believe you've done that before as well. And
I used to, yeah.
Yeah, you want to share a little light of how bad that is? Or how good it is?
Free plus shipping, if you've got a brand new Facebook account, then, it's a good tactic to just get your pixel up and going. Your brand new pixel, get some data going and thing. But other than that, that's all it is. I mean, it's you're not going to make hardly any profit from free plus shipping. You're going to get a lot of headaches as well, because you've got a lot of customers. Customer service is going to be inundated with emails.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to spend your marketing dollars advertising something that can turn a profit instantly. Okay, guys, if you're still like in the belief that making money instantly from promoting something online is something that's reserved for people that are just lucky, then I applaud that you remove that from your mind, because it doesn't exist. It's not true.
Yeah, it's not
okay. True. Free plus shipping is okay for, again, building up data, getting you some emails, but that's it. Okay, you want to focus on good margin products that are going to turn a profit instantly, because there's plenty right now as we speak. There's plenty of advertisers right now selling and profiting from selling products inside of Facebook. It's a big, massive ocean.
So I'm guessing, based on what you shared just now, from 1 to 4, your margin you're looking at is at least $15 to $25. Am I right?
Well, I say 1 to 4 minimum, but right now I like anything $30 plus.
Oh, okay. $30 plus margin. Okay.
Yeah, and because it's so much fun when you're scaling. That's the one thing. Yeah, when you've got really small margins, it's really, really tough work to scale. Like, really push the ads, because scaling essentially is just increasing your reach.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do $10 ad and you get 2-3 sales a day and it's profitable.
Yep.
Now but you're only reaching $10 ad. You're only reaching 1,200, 800, anywhere between 800 and 1,300 people a day.
Yep.
Now, so if you're doing 2-3 sales and you're doing it and it's being profitable for you, now you want to double that. So in order to double that, you need to reach more people now. And in order to reach more people, you need to spend more money. And what happens is as you spend more money, depending on, many variables, but let's just focus on the basics. What happens is generally Facebook will now see that you're trying to reach more people. And if your ad is not, getting that kind of engagement that's favorable in terms of Facebook eyes, they're going to increase your CPA, because they're not going to be. And also, when you increase that budget during a small window period, it's like it needs to re-optimize again to
correct.
Find the best people, the most likely clickers that are going to visit that thank you page.
Yep.
Okay. So essentially, your cost per acquisition is going to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And if your if your profit is $15, right, and your current CPA at $10 a day is only $5, it will rise to close. It will rise, and it could end up like at 10, 12, and then you're not left with much. You're only making $3-4 per sale, because it's costing you 13, 12. It's costing you $12 to acquire that customer.
Yep.
So by the time you've spent $12, you're going to get one buyer each time you spend $12, and you're not left with much. So it's really hard for you to make any profit. But if your margin is $30 now,
mm-hmm.
you can afford to pay $12. How many times will you put $12 into a machine to get $30 back?
I will do it as much as I can, man.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. You want to have good margins so that you can scale comfortably.
So what's the average conversion rate if you put it at $30 margin? What's the average normally?
It depends on the niche. But I've had, direct ads.
Yep.
I've had $8, $7 conversion rate.
$8.
Oh, you mean like
percentage?
Or you mean
that means like every 100 clicks, right? How many sales you get for a $30 margin product? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've had conversion. It depends because if I'm advertising to USA only, and I'm selling just one product at a time, I've had my conversion rate as high as 15%.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's retail product, right?
That's a retail product at $20 cost price, and $20 cost price with shipping, $4.95 shipping.
Oh, okay. Because I remember.
But when I went worldwide, sorry to interrupt you, but when I go worldwide, which I'm doing a lot now, advertising worldwide, my conversion rate is like less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Okay. Because I remember those days that when I was doing free plus shipping, the conversion can be as high as 20 to 40%, right? Is that what you experienced as well?
Yeah. Free plus shipping, because people they're on in their mind they're not expecting to pay anything, but when they get to the to the checkout page, they realize there's a shipping charge.
Yeah, correct. I was shocked that people would tell people, hey, charge them $10 shipping. It's like, that's a bit too much to charge for free shipping. Unethically, I felt was not right. So for me personally, I set $5, and then I tried to find products as $1. But I noticed in the end of the day, I just broke even. They make much money as well.
Right.
But do you do just curious? Do you do? Because I saw there's a method where you do free plus shipping, then they straight away upsell, one-click upsells. Do you do one-click upsells? Have you tried it?
One-click upsells, no, to be honest. This whole time I've been doing e-com, I haven't really utilized any one-click upsell application like OCU.
Oh, you should, man.
or Stripe. Yeah, but to be fair, I do something else that kind of balances that off.
Okay.
Now I would like to do one-click upsells, but the setup that I have, there isn't any tools that I can trust. Like, for example, OCU, everyone that I know that's been using it's been breaking. It breaks when you try and do the upsell sometimes.
Okay.
It doesn't work inconsistently. And also, in order to use OCU or something like Cart Hook, which does a great job for taking someone through like a funnel setup, upsell, downsell. You need to have Stripe, and I very much dislike Stripe. I've been using, on one of my store I have Shopify payments. The other store I have First Data USA, which is an agreement set up through the Bank of America. So my Shopify store is connected directly to my business account with Bank of America using First Data as the payment gateway service. Okay. Now with Shopify payments, you cannot use OCU. You have to have Stripe. Cart Hook can't use Shopify payments. You have to have Stripe. So that's what's kept me away. Now, how I've managed to balance things up is through something known as a product page bump. Okay. So you buy the first product for $24.95, right?
Yep.
Variant drop down will say get 2, save 10%.
Yep.
Get 3, save 15%. Get 4, save 20%. So having the product page bumps on the page, and then instead of having it say select your style or select your type, I'll say click here for discounts. Click the drop down menu for discounts. So and it's essentially when they land on the product page, they see that they're like, oh, click here for discounts. They click the drop down menu instantly. They're seeing if they buy 2, they get 10% off. If they buy 3, they get 15% off. If they buy 4, they get 20% off. So naturally, it just pushes them to buy more than one.
Yep.
And that's how I've been getting away with not using OCU on the back end.
Yeah, that's creative. That sounds good as well. So how do you actually run your test campaign? Was it like, I mean, there are many ways I see many people do it. Some is multiple interests, they put hundreds of interests. Some say put one interest, some put narrow interest. So what do you use personally? Do you use add to cart or view content?
Okay, so I always optimize for purchase.
Okay.
Yes, I know. There's people there's many different ways you can do it. There's people that do that kind of style where they start off with optimizing for view content, then they move to add to cart, then they move to purchase. I just start out straight out from purchase. Okay. And what I used to do was stacked interest. Stacking interest is putting multiple interests together into one ad set. I don't do that anymore because I don't believe that that's the best way for Facebook to optimize for whatever you're trying to sell.
Mm-hmm.
What I do now is single interest.
Okay.
So I test single broad interest for any product that I want to sell. That's how I do it now.
How much budget do you set for one interest? Is it $20, $50 per day?
$10 a day. Daily.
Cool, we're doing the same thing. Okay. We know what works.
We know what works.
Yes. So do you also do you use lookalike audience? Like, do you train all this?
I use lookalike audiences like my second phase of scaling.
Okay.
Well, it could be second or third, depending on what strategy I want to use. And then outside of lookalike audience, I also target absolute no one.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yep.
So do you wait like there's 100 hits first before you do a lookalike audience, or you just do it straight away? Like 500 after 500? Like, is there a benchmark number for you?
I start off with interest. I get it doing really well. Then I start spending quite a bit. And then at some point, I then create the lookalike audience and try those. I exclude from the previous before, so I have 1%, 2%, 3%.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll test those, see how those do. And if they, do well, then I'll make some more of a variations and test. It's a game of testing, really.
Yeah.
With Facebook. Correct. You just got to keep testing to see what will work. But and then once I'm done with lookalikes, then I'll open up to everyone on Facebook, which is like 1.1 billion people. So
cool. So the question, I think this one everyone should want to know, especially they are new. So if, let's say, imagine you are a newbie, you just start today, what will you recommend be the structure of your campaign to test and run your campaigns?
So if I have to start from scratch,
mm-hmm.
The structure that I would use is to single interest one ad per one ad set, right? And really broad interest. I would also do video, the product as a video,
mm-hmm.
okay, because video is so much more
cheaper.
It's cheaper engagement. It's video is it can make a whole campaign for you. So with video, I would also do a link click video. Okay, so people can click to watch the video, and it will take them straight to your site where the video will play at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And if they scroll down, it will then add they would be automatically on your site. So link video ad. I'd put the shop now button there. Shop now.
Yep.
For a good call to action, and then website conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Always
mm-hmm.
optimize for purchase. I don't specify any placement except I specify Facebook newsfeed only.
Mm-hmm.
With everything else. My optimization window is 7-day clicking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it, really.
How many interests do you do for one product? Do you do like 5 or you do just 2?
Excuse me.
It's
Sorry.
Okay.
There's no like rule of thumb in terms of how many interests I use, because it's if I'm gonna give something a good go promotion, then I'm gonna give it a good go. Like there's campaigns where I've done really huge numbers, and it's like I could have easily just done 1 or 2 interests there, and those ones would have converted. But then the ones that did convert, wouldn't have got me this far because I wouldn't have stuck. I didn't stick with it. So whenever I test something, I have to make my mind up that this is worth testing. When I test very thoroughly. So there isn't any number. It could be 5, it could be 8, it could be 12. Essentially, I make sure that I give myself a really good test on that product before I decide to quit.
All right. So just to summarize what he just mentioned, he's selling about 5 ad sets with 5 interests, 5 everything, and a budget of, I remember you said is $10 per day, right? Is that what you said?
Right. Correct.
All right. I think the magical question a lot of people don't talk about is that how do you know when to stop? How do you know which interest you should pause it? Because some people keep running it for $100, like, oh man, this is sucking my money.
Right. Well, you wouldn't run an ad if you wouldn't spend $100 a day if it's not profitable for too long, would you?
No, but some people still do because they don't know how to see the numbers, I think.
What you need to look at, first of all, the number one thing is sales, okay? If you haven't had sales after a particular time, then you got to kill it and let go and move on.
So is there like your personal, do you have like after $20 spent, no sales, do you pause it, something like that?
No, I never pause. It's either I increase the budget or I kill.
Ah, okay. So you increase the budget or you kill.
And it's not necessarily just $20 spend. It depends. If I see all the other stats doing well, like link clicks and add to carts, and CPM is very low. So link clicks is how many people have clicked on the link. Add to cart is how many people have added the product to cart.
Yep.
And CPM is how many people have. So it's how much you'll be charged every time 1,000 people view your offer.
Okay. So you were saying that you look at the stats, and if it's in your favor, you continue running it, and if it's not in your favor, you will kill them, and I guess you'll create more interest ad sets to test more interest to see which interest. I mean, personally, what I like to do, I don't know is this what you're doing, but every product that I test, I will create 10 ad sets with each one interest, just to maybe 2 interests for magazine, 2 interests for celebrity, 2 interests for something, and then 1 lookalike audience, something like that. Do you do something like that as well?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I could have like 10 to 15 different tests.
Yep.
Going on at one time. So, yeah, I do. But in terms of killing, I look to see, ultimately, I look to see if I haven't had no sales, then I look at the add to carts. I look at the CPM. How low is the CPM? How many add to carts have we had? How many link clicks have we had? And that ratio usually gives me an indication on, whether on whether I should kill or keep going. Cool. Okay, because you don't want to, if you're not getting any add to carts and you've spent, $30, then what are you doing? Something's not right. Something's not connected properly, or, you can tell. You can tell, and then the one thing that changes your decision on whether to kill is if you've had sales. So if you have 1 sale, then okay, we've had 1 sale. Let's be patient. Let's give it another, let's give it another 24 hours.
Yep.
And then you go from there. But then if it doesn't prove itself within those 24 hours, then you actually kill the campaign and move on. Don't get emotionally attached to some of these promotions, because most people do. They get very emotionally charged, and they don't know how to, like you said, they don't know when to kill, and they don't know how to let go and move on, because they're like, oh, I really love this product. I'm really sure that I really love the product. No one cares if you love the product.
Yep.
It's not about you. It's about the people that are going to see the ad. That's what it's about. So no one cares. Don't get hung up on promoting something that's not good for you. Oh,
you share a lot of great strategies. This one thing I always very curious, is that how do you solve the slow shipping orders and fulfillment within? Because I believe if you use AliExpress, like not many people are doing, the shipping takes a long time. I think 3 to 4 weeks at least to receive. So how do you solve that issue?
Well, e-packet from China, Shenzhen, my supplier, it's roughly about 10 days. Okay, I've shipped thousands and thousands of products here from via e-packet. It takes roughly, on average, about 10 days. Okay, I write on my listing 10 to 15 business days. So that's how I get around it.
Do people still buy even though they see 10 to 15 days?
Correct, yes, they do. And I put it right underneath the buy button as well, so they can see it. And the great thing about doing that as well is if someone buys and then they inbox you, 3 days later, and like, where's my product? My VAs take a screenshot. They have it already in the office. They have to take a screenshot and they send it to the customer where it says, we said, as you can see, when you purchased it was on the sales page, 10 to 15 business days. So if you're not prepared to wait, then we're gonna have to cancel. Sorry, if you're not prepared to wait, then don't buy it. Basically, in a nutshell. So people are happy to wait, especially if you do worldwide. Okay, USA they might be a bit grumpy. It's taking too long because USA they're so spoiled based on the fact that they buy from Amazon, and Amazon's really fast with shipping products. So, but worldwide audiences, they're still very fresh and brand new.
Yes, I totally agree. So thanks so much for your time and all your sharing. I believe the listeners who listen to all these tips are very blessed by what you share. And I'll summarize by just saying that I think one important point that you must remember is that Manie can share all the great tips that he just shared, but you must remember to take action and have a strong desire of why you want it, how badly you want this business. And I believe if you use whatever he just shared, just one of the tip. The tip on duplicating what other people are doing can easily help you make a lot of money, but you must have a lot of patience. He went through a lot of failures, 4 or 5 months learning from others. That's quite long and very, very patient of you. The first time I hear someone so patient. And look at where you are right now. You're making 6 figures to 7 figures every month, and I think that's something that everyone who's listening should learn. Success doesn't come immediate, and it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. That's it. It's like a train. It's like a train to the destination. It takes time to build up that momentum, but once it builds up that momentum, anything that's in its way will just get out the way.
Correct.
Okay, so patience is key.
Yep. So I thanks so much for your sharing. And before we end, we have something special below this podcast link. You can find out just below this video link audio. All right, there we put it down there. If you want to know more about what Manie do or how you can actually set up your own Shopify store, you can find out more at the link below this podcast. And thank you again, Manie, for all your sharing your time. I know it's very late over there, 11 plus p.m.
Yeah, thank you, Alvin. It's been a pleasure, and you're more than welcome. I'm very glad that I was able to share, some of the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 3 years.
Yes, I believe the audience will be very blessed as well. Thanks so much, and God bless you.
God bless you too, Alvin. Thank you.
All right.